Can you see how a mom can be on empty when she has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old?
Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. NJoy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello. It is Thursday, and we are in episode 119. Mom on empty. Burnout, boundaries, and finding joy again. Because hopefully you've had a little bit of joy. But let's find joy again. Mom on empty. And why are we discussing mom on empty? Because when you are a mom, sometimes that means your energy just might get drained. Drained so much that you run out of gas and that you're on empty. What's wrong, sweetie? You want to sit on my lap too? Is that why? But you don't hit. This is real time. We really live. I did a couple of trial runs before. Oh no! Don't push that. I did it. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right. Okay. So, well, you do the talking then. You do the talking. Well, tell them what's joy for you?
What's joy to you?
What's joy? Say, welcome to Journey to Joy Live.
Why to joy tonight?
What's your name?
Elijah.
And how old are you?
4.
You're 4. What's his name? Okay, now we're just playing with the mic. Mom on empty. So what's your name? What's your name? You already said your name, Legend. What's your name? Egypt. And how old are you?
10.
You're 10. So apparently he's 4 and he's 10. Can you see how a mom can be on empty when she has a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old? I didn't tell them to do this, but this is kind of like how it feels to be a mom when you're trying to do something, but you can't because the kids won't let you. Okay, so it's a fantastic metaphor. Now, see, when you start playing with my mic now we play with my mic. All right, so it is okay to take a step back and reset, even when you are overwhelmed and drained by being a mother. This is a great example of that. You have to let mommy talk, though, sweetie. You have to let mommy talk. So there's room for kids to be playful. There's room for silliness, but then there's also room for being strict and putting your foot down, as a parent. Oh, okay. They muted me again. That's a perfect example of how moms become empty because kids are forever surrounding you. And what did I say? They were really happy and energetic. And then all of a sudden, they're screaming and then back to happy. Especially when you have toddlers, they are your shadow and following you everywhere. And then the teenagers are the complete opposite. It's almost like they're a repellent and they're nowhere to be found. What you see me doing now is taking a mental reset because there is a crying toddler in the background. All right. So literally, all of that wasn't scripted, but it was a matter of showing you what motherhood is like and how it can completely drain you. And motherhood, parenthood, all the things is a sacrifice, and it definitely requires patience. I always say 100% patience and at least 50% sacrifice. You cannot sacrifice all of yourself in every single thing because that is how burnout is created.
So just then, let's see. Yes, you saw me practice patience, I would hope. But the other thing, because I said patience and sacrifice, the other thing is flexibility and compromise. My husband always says he doesn't compromise or he doesn't negotiate with terrorists. Well, you know what? Parenting kind of takes compromise and negotiating. Just now, he wanted chocolate milk. And I said, no, you get it. Then he started screaming. And, I could have put my foot down and still said, no, no, you get it. But guess what? I went out there and the reason he couldn't get chocolate milk because it was at the back of the refrigerator. He couldn't reach it. So there we go. That's why we compromise so we can realize they can't do everything themselves. And now they're on devices. We try not to give our children devices, but it works. They've been bouncing around behind me this whole hour. But as soon as I go live, then they're bouncing around on me. All right, so let's do this again. And that was 10 minutes already? Wow. All right. Mom on empty. Burnout boundaries and finding joy again. Because hopefully you have once had joy and you need to find it again. Again, as you saw, kids can be suffocating. Parenting is hazardous to mental health. I've mentioned that a lot on here because I just think that's wild that a whole article says that parenting is hazardous to mental health, but it's like true and accurate. And because of that, that means you get drained, you get tired, you get a lack of motivation. This the true whole burnout and stress, and you're just not able to take care of yourself and prioritize yourself when you are a parent because you're literally doing the opposite most times of what you want and need. The first thing that you need to do as a mom, do a joy check-in. A joy check-in. Just check in with yourself. How am I doing mentally, physically, emotionally? What do I need right now? And even just right before going live, I just had to think, I had to stop and pause and take a deep breath because it can get overwhelming and it does get stressful. It's no lie. Parenting is rewarding. It can be joyful, but it is both a joy and a joy stiller. And I'm just thinking about my Tuesday. Tuesday was extremely maybe it wasn't extremely stressful, but it was just a lot going on. Mondays and Tuesdays is when I drop off the kids. My husband drops them on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So as soon as I get to the school, and they're at different buildings, but at the same school. As soon as I get to the school, the teacher is taking out Legend out of the car. And as he's getting out of the car, the 2-year-old starts profusely vomiting. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And then I realized I don't have a change of clothes. Why? It's not necessarily lack of preparation because that morning I said, okay, let me grab him a pair of clothes, an extra pair of clothes to put in the bag. I go upstairs to get it, and I don't get it. I get something else. Okay, well, I guess that's the ADHD. Talked about ADHD on last week's episode. So then I never actually get the second pair of clothes for him. So here we go. Fast forward, profusely vomiting in his car seat. Luckily, they go to a school, they actually have a store that sells their uniforms. So I'm like, well, let me just get around the campus to buy him an outfit for him to put on now that he's thrown up all over the place. So then, no, the security guard's like, no, you can't come this way. I'm like, how am I going to get to the store? And it's really weird how the smallest things all of a sudden become the most stressful thing when it comes to parenting. Like, I just wanted to get an extra outfit for my child. And then now I can't go this way because the security police officer, traffic controller guy is like, no, you can't come this way. Look at this sign. The sign says during carpool, you can't come this way. So I'm just like, ah! But which at the end of the day, so what? Just go the other way. But I'm dealing with a child who just profusely vomited all over himself. So I turn around and I go out of the campus and go in on the other side of the campus just to drive around the whole campus just to go to the store. So we go in the store. He has vomit all over him. And luckily, those people were so nice. They helped me get an extra uniform. His uniforms aren't cheap. So he puts it on. I go change him in the dressing room. And oh no, surprise. I didn't just profusely vomit all over myself. I also pooped. So in the fitting room, I'm changing a poopy diaper while cleaning up vomits. But after that, he looked really cute and he had on his new uniform. So I was able to drop him off and then go and have a really long day at work. So not only can there be mom stress, there's also work stress, and all of that goes on top of each other. And when you're trying to multitask and do work and parenting at the same time, the stress automatically multiplies big time. That's our statistic right there. It multiplies big time. And so that's definitely a strategy. It's to try not to multitask work and kids. Because think about it. Right now, I'm trying to do a podcast. It's not necessarily work, but let's put it in the work category. And I'm trying to parent. Parenting and trying to get him chocolate milk is easy. Doing this podcast is easy. But as you saw about 5 minutes ago, doing the podcast while parenting is not so easy. It's fun, and I expected it because that was my plan tonight with talking about mom on empty. But that was a lot. I did not factor in them muting my mic multiple times. I did not factor that in. So multitasking both work and parenting, gotta go. That is definitely a way. And I've learned that many hard times by realizing I'm trying to focus on work and then I'm stressed out because they're interrupting the work. But they're my child. I should focus on them. So the time for parenting is the time for parenting, and the time for work is the time for work. And if I'm focused on my child and then work succumbs, then I get stressed out because then I'm like stretched both ways. So when you are stretched more than one way, that creates burnout, that creates strain, that creates stress. Try to focus on one thing. Try to be present on one thing. When you're at work, stop thinking about laundry. Stop thinking about when you're going to pick up the kids. Stop thinking about what you're going to do for dinner. Focus on work. When you leave work or take a break from work, whatever, and you are able to focus on parenting, then you can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do for laundry, or I got to do laundry. This is what I'm going to do for dinner. Oh, I'm going to pick up the kids at this time. Because when you interject both worlds, that creates stress. I definitely have learned I need to focus on one thing at a time. Do I actually do it? No, because we all know to do the practical things. We don't actually do it. But at least I know. I know, like, okay, this is my fault. I'm trying to do more than one thing at a time. And this is why I'm stressed out right now. So let's go back to that joy check-in. Every day, do a joy check-in. How am I doing mentally? How am I doing physically? How am I doing emotionally? Mentally, are you feeling sad? Are you feeling a lack of interest? Are you feeling drained? Are you feeling like you don't want to be a parent? Are you feeling like you don't want to be here? Ask yourself those questions and be honest with yourself. Emotionally, are you moody? Are you angry? Are you snappy? Are you irritable with the kids? Honestly, yeah, all of this is raw transparency. So literally 30 minutes ago, they found these pictures and there were 4 pictures. What happened to the 4th picture? This little guy back here, he comes and he shows me 5 pieces of the picture. And he's just like, and he sees my face and he's like, sorry. And I'm like, why did you tear up this picture? And I'm thinking to myself, why am I even mad? It's a picture that I can print again if I want to, or it's on digital. But yeah, I decided that I was going to choose, why did you do this? And then he starts crying. And it's like, well, did I really have to yell at him? At the time, I think as parents, we want to like put this fear in them or put this anger because we want them to not do it again. But that honestly doesn't stop them from doing it again. They're probably going to do it again. But later I realized, not later, I already had realized that the picture's not that important. It's a picture of me and my husband when I was pregnant with a 2-year-old holding a sonogram. So it's an important picture, but him ripping it up, stuff that. So that's why it's good for us to do an emotional check-in. How are you feeling? Are you easily snappable in this moment? And what kind of reset do you need? Apparently, I was easily snappable at that moment, but I feel good now. So ask yourself those questions. How am I doing emotionally, mentally, and how am I doing physically? What you say, Legend? You what? Can I get you a blanket? I have a blanket. It's right there. Get that blanket. So I don't know what I was saying. Where did I leave off, Legend? Okay, physically. Are you feeling tired? That's a physical symptom of a lot of different things. Fatigue could be because you're stressed or burnt out, but it could also be because you literally haven't had a lot of sleep. And if you have kids that wake you up in the middle of the night, that's definitely going to reduce your ability to sleep. Or if you're working or there's stress or there is anxiety that's keeping you up and you're replaying something on a loop all night long, racing thoughts. Doesn't even have to be one thing on a loop all night long. It could just be racing thoughts. And of course, drop in kids doing their thing and lifing, then that just makes your sleep worse. It's a lot of different things. It's not just one thing to help with sleep and to help with dealing with resting your mind so that you can be able to sleep. I talk to my patients all the time about a lot of different strategies. A lot of people come to me because they want medication for sleep, but at the end of the day, that's not always going to be that thing that is going to help you sleep. And you also don't want to be dependent on something like that. So everybody needs to create, every mom, every parent needs to create a bedtime routine ritual that helps with you. What is your sleep time joy ritual? For me, on the nights that I work out, it includes working out. I don't work out every night because some days I work out in the morning. I ran this morning, so I don't have to work out tonight unless I feel like running again. That doesn't make sense. Like only a few days out of the year, I work out twice a day, but no, I don't work out twice a day every day. That's weird, right? There's a tea that I drink. I haven't drank it in a couple of weeks. I need to do that tonight. But it helps relax me. Some people like doing bath and music and candles and scents and things like that to help calm them down. Meditation, yoga, deep breathing, journaling, reading the Bible, reading a book, something that can help you relax your mind. And in general, when it comes to racing thoughts, what are the racing thoughts about kids and them stressing you out and all the things you have to do? Because it's not just about parenting stress, is not just about what they're doing to you in the moment. It's also about what's happening in their lives. So there might be someone that they're encountering that's stressing you out, another parent of their friend who's stressing you out, a teacher that's stressing you out. These kids are just growing up and having their own lives. And it's just like these worlds come together and stress you out. So it's definitely a lot of things that as a mom that you can be racing about in your head and overthinking about in your head. Fears that they might fail, fears that you're a failure as a parent. But it's definitely important to activate some strategies for being able to slow that process down of that overthinking and all those what ifs. Deep breathing definitely helps you change that pace from this fast thinking to slow thinking, especially if you have physical symptoms in your body. Deep breathing is very important, but presence, grounding, feeling present is extremely important. And now the other night when I had racing thoughts and one stressor just going on a loop, like, oh, why did you do that type of thoughts? Getting out of your head. Grounding gets you out of your head. I don't know how many times I've talked about your senses, but I need to talk about it every episode because in order for us to experience joy, we have to get out of our heads and stop this overthinking, stop these racing thoughts, and to be able to experience the present. A few of my positive affirmations on Instagram are usually talking about being able to feel present in the moment and being able to calm yourself. So literally, whether you close your eyes or open your eyes, I mean, there's different ways to do it. If you find your happy place and engage your five senses, you can close your eyes and do that and say, oh, my happy place is the beach. I see the water. I hear the waves. I smell the sand and the sea or the rain. It just rained. It smells so good. I feel the waves, the sand beneath my feet and my hands, and I'm tasting my favorite drink. And then there's the 5, 4, 2, 3, 1 senses, present, grounding technique What are 5 things you can see right now? Well, 5 things I can see. I can see that painting. I see the bluey. I see another painting. I see the blanket. I see my kids. I'm looking at my background in the mirror. What are 4 things I can hear? I hear them watching TV. I hear my own voice because I'm talking. I hear bluey back there. I feel like a fan. That's about it. I don't hear 4 things. What are 3 things that I can feel? I feel this desk. I feel my chair. I feel these pictures. What are 2 things I can smell? I don't really smell anything. I don't, when you first spray your perfume, you can smell your perfume, but then your nose gets used to it. Oh, I do smell my perfume actually. Now that I'm focused on it. I'm so focused on my senses that I don't know what I'm stressed out about anymore, right? And then one thing I can say is, well, I just taste the last thing I ate. Now you want a blanket? Can you guys share a blanket so I don't have to get up in front of everybody again? Oh, that's so sweet. He said each of them. They're gonna share. Oh, good job, guys. Definitely, praising your kids makes your life better. Some parents say, why am I gonna praise them for doing something they should be doing? Why not? Why not promote what they're doing? Positive reinforcement is exactly what it is. It reinforces them to do something positive. So if I'm praising him for sharing the blanket, then he's like, oh, I did a great job. Let me continue to do that. As opposed to negative reinforcement, which takes you taking things away because they did something bad, which that, yeah, I mean, that can work too. But we're talking about praising. A lot of parents feel like, but that makes you feel better. I mean, it makes me feel better. So definitely, praising is really good. So anyhow, we were talking about sleep. I was talking about doing a joy check-in with yourself. How are you doing physically, emotionally, and mentally? And so we were on physical and feeling tired. So we were talking about sleep hygiene and all those things. So hopefully those are all good things that work for you. So that's your joy check-in. Every day, do a joy check-in. This shouldn't take long. It should take a minute or 2, 5 minutes maybe. But what is a 10-minute joy ritual that you can do every day? Just 10 minutes. Yes, for self-care. You should book a vacation, get a massage, get a mani-pedi if you can and if you have the money. But that is not something you can do every single day. Definitely not every single day or every single week or every single month. Or for some people, not every year they can book a hotel or book a staycation or a vacation or something like that. So let's focus on what you can do in 10 minutes. What can you do in 10 minutes that is a joy for you? Is it getting on the treadmill? Is it running? Is it walking and getting some sun real quick, taking a break away from the computer? Does your job require you to be on the computer all day? You definitely have to have breaks. And especially with kids, if they're all over you, literally, hey, if you're just tuning in right now, please rewind this video and watch the first 10 minutes. They were literally on me. And that is definitely the ultimate metaphor for how parenting is like. So when the kids are just all over you, they literally drain your mental energy and your physical energy. So it's really important for you to put in at least 10 minutes a day. You should do more. You should do more. But we're just talking about stuff that's easy to put in if you don't do anything for yourself. So if you don't do anything for yourself, at least do a 10-minute joy ritual. And outside of walking, getting on a treadmill and getting some sun, it could be reading, it could be writing, it could be taking deep breaths, it could be listening to a meditation video on YouTube, it could be talking to a friend, it could be watching 10 minutes of a Netflix show real quick. What brings you joy? Ask yourself that question, because if you are just, I was going to say knee deep, not even waist deep, shoulder deep, you're just in the deep end of parenting and you just really haven't been focused on yourself, thinking about yourself and what you need at all. So if that is happening, what did you used to like? Let's find joy again. What are some boundaries, empowerment, resilience? What can you put in place so that you're able to have you again, so that you're able to have joy again? Boundaries are important. Sometimes I have to tell him, like, no, it's mommy's turn. And I do a lot of sacrifice. Whenever they're around, they get to watch TV. Like, how am I gonna watch my own show if they here? I can't even focus. I might as well let them watch. Daddy's different. He's like, I don't care. I'm gonna put on my baseball. Y'all figure it out. But I can't even focus on TV when they're around. So for the most part, they kind of get the priority with that. But at certain times, you definitely have to have boundaries so that you are able to focus on you and do what you need to do in order to reset. So I know I have people watching. What's your joy ritual? Tell me, make a comment. Why is parenting hard for you? Outside of what I said, what's different than what I explained? But I have a 2 and 4-year-old, but I also have a 14-year-old, which can be rewarding. But 14-year-olds are just like, they're a whole nother species. And, that takes a learning curve too. Even though you've been a parent longer, for like at least 13 years, and now they're 14, you're like, whoa, it's just different. Because you have to start respecting their wishes. Well, you should respect their wishes too. But they're becoming an adult. So you have to start collaborating with them and asking them what they want and then compromising. I have a comment. Yay, Keandria, you like to walk. Walking is awesome. This morning I was out. It was like 65-degree weather. It felt so good. It's nice to get out in the morning when it's cool. Thank you for your comment. Anybody else? But getting back to the teens, it's a stretch. It's a mental stretch because, you're the parent and this whole time you're like, there's this power struggle. But why do you have to have a power struggle? But for the most part, for young kids, people feel like they need to be the boss and like, it's what I say goes and that's it. So really for young kids, you should start working on kind of dialing back that power struggle anyway. But for a teen, you definitely have to dial back the power struggle because you want them to grow up to be assertive and speak up and be able to make their own decisions. But if you're making decisions for them and telling them what to do all the time, how are they going to do that for themselves? Gym allows you to change the atmosphere. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. That's exactly how I feel about going outside versus being on my treadmill. I like the treadmill, but being outside is good. And being in the gym, I miss going to the gym. I'm going to blame these kids. I don't go to the gym because the kids. Like, even when they're asleep, I can't go to the gym. Well, I guess I can. But I guess I should have too. Okay, so it's on me. See, I'm telling you, you can prioritize yourself. I'm like literally contradicting myself right now because there are certain things that I actually can do. I just choose not to do it. So what are some things that you can do and you just choose not to do it? I literally came up with the way I can go to the gym. My husband can be with the kids when they're sleeping and I go to the gym. But maybe I don't feel like it. And I also created a gym for myself. So maybe that's a bad example for me. But for you, what are some things that you can incorporate? Gym. Oh, they do have childcare. Yes, I do know that. So when my 14-year-old was, I don't know, 6, 7. Oh no! I said 6, 7. I didn't mean to. I knew it. He said 6, 7 now. That is hilarious. So when he was 6, 7, I used to take him to the gym. I do that on purpose. I don't know if you can hear what he said it. But I used to take him, I used to go to LA Fitness and he used to love going with me because he would play around at the childcare. So there's ways to get your stuff in. If you like to walk, you can walk with the kids. If you like to go to the gym, you can go to the gym. There's just no excuse. There's no excuse. Tell yourself, there's no excuse. Turn on David Goggins, let him yell at you and curse at you, tell you can do it, and prioritize yourself and stop making up excuses. So there are ways for you as a mom to prioritize yourself so that you're not running on empty. Because your cup needs to be full for you to give. Because if you're running on empty, what are you giving? If a car is empty and it's not moving, where is it taking you? Absolutely nowhere. So you are taking them nowhere, your kids nowhere. If you are running on empty, you have to keep your cup full. So your call to action today is, what are you going to do for yourself each day for 10 minutes to bring back your joy? again. Check in with yourself. How am I feeling right now? And then add in each day a 10-minute joy ritual for you. Whoa, they made it to the 34-minute mark, but that's because I gave them the phones. I mean, I think it would have been like the whole episode of them muting this mic on and off if I didn't do that. So, and yeah, allow yourself to give devices. Yeah, I'm a child psychiatrist. Yes, I'm saying that. When you need to, it's okay. We're going to have a 7-hour drive coming up. Oh, yeah, devices. That is okay. Sure, try the coloring, try the stickers, because he likes stickers. Try the tablet and the books and things like that. But at the end of the day, if you have to give a device, don't feel bad, especially if you're given a device so that you can get on the treadmill and prioritize yourself. Please don't feel bad. Don't feel bad and don't feel guilty. Thank you so much, Keandria, for tuning in and for commenting. And thank you, everybody else, because I see y'all out here watching. See you next week. This has been an NJoy Live production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through NJoy Life, visit www.drnjoylife.com to request a consultation. I'm licensed in 12 states. I accept Aetna in Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. Be sure to grab your copy of the NJoy Note to help you on your wellness journey. Also, check out Inspire Joy for the wife, mom, boss to help you balance it all without losing yourself. Better yet, get the full Joy bundle for just $45. Remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may you continue to transform stress into joy.